Hi everyone, this is Cecil from YellowstoneTours.net, and today I'm going to be telling you about the one place in all of Yellowstone where you can actually soak or swim in a hot spring. And you're looking at it on the screen at the moment. Now, there are actually two, but one of them is so far out of the way that I'm not even going to deal with it here. You have to hike 15 miles to get there, and you can't even access it from the main points of Yellowstone. So I'm only going to be dealing with the one that you're looking at the moment, and it's called the Boiling River. As is so often the case, what I suggest you do is that you watch this podcast on YouTube rather than listen to it on Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever, because I will be using, as you've seen already, certain reference points. I will be using a couple of maps. The first one you can find at our motel site, which is ysmotel.com, and we operate Yellowstone Motel. It's to be found in the small town of West Yellowstone, and we offer affordable rooms in a great location, and all of our rooms have got kitchens as well. But that's another story. Let's go to ysmotel.com/map. You'll see that the roads through Yellowstone make up a massive figure of 8. And the area that I'm going to be talking about today, namely the Boiling River, is right up at the very top of the figure of 8. If we look, we can see where Mammoth Hot Springs is, and then right at the very top is Yellowstone's north entrance, and in between the two, just about where you cross from the state of Wyoming into the state of Montana, is the Boiling River. Let's have a look at it on this map here. I'm using Google Maps at the moment, and you can see where it says 45th parallel Gardner River. That is where the little parking lot is. Now, the Park Service, in their wisdom, have actually moved the sign for the 45th parallel up the road to the north, and I talk about that in various of our other Yellowstone podcasts and virtual Yellowstone tours, so don't worry if you don't see the sign that says 45th parallel. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see where, once again, the parking lot is, and then there's a trail that runs down to the south towards where the Boiling River is. Let's have a look at it from this perspective here. I'm now using Street View on Google Maps, and I'm coming down from Mammoth Hot Springs, which is behind me, heading towards the small town of Gardner, which is just outside the north entrance. And if we look to the right, there we can see the parking lot for the Boiling River. There's the little trail, and I'll show you more of that in a moment. Now, those of you who've seen a lot of my virtual Yellowstone tours or Yellowstone podcasts know that we've got videos of all Yellowstone's roads. And this one shows you that trail that I mentioned to you runs alongside the Gardner River, and it's making its way in this direction, so the opposite direction to where I'm driving at the moment, and I'm traveling with Mammoth Hot Springs behind me, heading towards the north entrance. And shortly coming up on the right, you can see over here, that is where the little entrance is to that parking lot. This is where the 45th parallel sign used to be, and we're now going across the Gardner River. I'm going to get out of this video, and let's look at it now coming in the other direction. So now I've got Gardner and the north entrance behind me, and I'm heading towards Mammoth Hot Springs, which I'll access by climbing up the hill in front of me. I'm just about to go over the Gardner River, and where you see this car coming out on the left, that once again is the little trail that leads to the parking lot for the Boiling River. And why don't we take a look at it? So we're now going from Yellowstone's north entrance. I'm crossing over the Gardner River, which you see on the left. And also on the left, you can see that parking lot, which was closed at the time. And there's various reasons that it could be closed. And as I start climbing up the hill, so Mammoth Hot Springs is basically in front of me, and off to the left, and unfortunately you can't see it at the moment, But off to the left, and it should, with any luck, be coming into view now, there is the trail that runs towards the Boiling River. It's not very long, probably, I would guess, a little bit less than a mile from the parking lot. Now, as you might imagine, it is really popular. So the parking lot, which is really small, does tend to get pretty crowded, and you may have to find parking elsewhere on the road. There's another little parking lot that you can see on the west side or the left side of the road as you're driving from Mammoth towards Gardner. There are a few things to bear in mind. During the COVID years, Boiling River is obviously closed. In addition, if you are going off the beaten track, please consider taking bear spray with you. We do rent it. You can find that at YellowstoneBearSprayRentals.com or ysbearspray.com. That is ysbearspray.com. In terms of times that you can access the Boiling River, the Boiling River, funnily enough, is open through the winter until such time as the snow melt in the spring tends to flood the area in which you could swim or soak. So the Boiling River will be closed during the spring and will only open again generally in early July once the river levels drop again. Bear in mind that you can't swim or soak there at night. The hours differ between summer and winter very slightly. And what happens in order to create the Boiling River is, and I'm just going to show you those pictures again. Unfortunately, it was closed due to COVID while I was producing this, so I couldn't video it for you. But we can see here the little steps that come down, and then you've got these swimming holes that people have actually constructed over the years, and it is really cool. So what you have is hot water from the Boiling River hot spring coming down from the Mammoth area and then mixing with the Gardner River. So depending on where you stand, you've got really cold water, and then you've got really hot water. A couple of other things which you should consider as well. There are organisms in this water that can cause infections, skin rashes, even meningitis, and you can get pretty serious diseases. So please be careful. Read the signs that you see there. If you'd like to take a closer look at some of these videos, you can either go to YouTube, search for our channel, which is under the name Yellowstone Tours, and we have every single road in Yellowstone covered point to point. We've got all sorts of podcasts and what we call virtual Yellowstone tours, which you can also see at virtualyellowstonetours.com. All the geyser basins, so many hikes, so many strolls, the animals, the most popular geysers erupting, you name it. We've got more Yellowstone videos than just about anyone else. If you'd like any more information about the Boiling River, don't hesitate to ask in the comments section below. Otherwise, please remember that we do offer lodging in the town of West Yellowstone. Once again, go to ysmotel.com. That's ysmotel.com. All of our rooms, again, do have kitchens. We rent bear spray, which you can see at ysbearspray.com. Then if you're looking for a Yellowstone tour, we literally offer more Yellowstone tours than anyone in the world, and you can see those at yellowstonetours.net. That's yellowstonetours.net. Thank you so much for joining me on another Yellowstone podcast. This is Cecil again from yellowstonetours.net.